The Season 4 Reloaded update brought with it a new sniper called the Rytec AMR, and it's fantastic. It can shoot literal fire. But of course, Call of Duty can't let us have it that easily, of course not. We've got to jump through some hoops, and those hoops are much higher off the ground and narrower if you haven't got the full version of Modern Warfare and you can't access multiplayer. So the challenge we've got to complete is get 3 quickscope kills with a sniper or marksman rifle in 15 different games. So these 3 kills can be spread out throughout a whole game, but you've got to do that 15 times. So however we look at it, it's going to be a little bit of a grind, I'm afraid. Now you're going to need a suitable class to get this done. You probably have your own favourite sniper and setup, but I'm going to suggest an approach. The Kar 98K has the quickest aiming down sight speed of any sniper, so this is a good option. But remember, you can do it with a marksman rifle too, which are naturally much quicker in aiming down sights as well as their fire rate. So if you miss a shot, which is likely doing this challenge, then you can just have another crack straight away. The best marksman rifle is probably the M2 carbine. It has the advantages that a marksman rifle does offer, but it also packs a punch in terms of damage too. Of course, these are just my suggestions, and you can do it with any sniper or marksman rifle you like, but please don't try and do it with a thermal scope on. So to complete the challenge, I suggest heading into a plunder game. In Plunder, you can spawn in with your class, so there's no waiting around for your loadout, or dying before you even get the chance to get it. And of course there's respawns. This is a biggie, because you are going to die more often than you usually do when you're trying to get this challenge done, as it's not easy to quickscope people consistently, especially when you come up against people with their actual proper weapons on. But don't worry, you'll find this out for yourself soon enough. One of the worst aspects of trying to do this challenge purely on Warzone is that people usually have armor on, making it insanely frustrating. Plunder helps a little bit here, as people go crazy in this game mode and are spawning in very often and therefore often don't have full armour. Some people have even suggested that armour is a little bit rarer in Plunder than ordinary Battle Royale, but I'm not so sure about that. Either way, it's still going to be tough though. Now there is some good news. People have reported that quickscoping people whilst they're down actually counts. So you could down people with your preferred primary weapon and then swap to a sniper or marksman and just quickscope them when they're on the ground. Of course, the downside to this is people may just drop straight out, ready to be respawned again if their teammates are dead or they simply don't have any. In terms of a strategy on Plunder, I have some tips that I've shared in previous videos, but they are still working, so I'm going to suggest them again. One of them is to stay on the plane and land right at the end, where there's usually players that aren't currently at their controller or keyboard because they're rewatching their favourite Thierry Henry montage for the 43rd time. You're going to swoop down on these people and get to work. You may be able to get all 3 of your kills doing this, but if not, you'll usually be able to get at least 1 or 2. If someone else does drop there and is trying the same thing as you, make sure you've got a good primary weapon with you just to fight them off before taking all the prey for yourself. After you've mopped these up, you can then spend some time in the rest of the whole game just finishing off this challenge by getting in some close quarters gunfights and pinging off some bullets. Or just downing people with your favourite primary weapon and finishing them off with the carbine. This method is probably your best bet for getting the challenge done in a fairly timely manner without the full multiplayer. You're likely to get at least 1 or 2 free kills for quickscoping, and then you can spend the rest of the game trying to down people with your ordinary weapon and then finishing them off. Aside from Plunder though, one of your best hopes is limited time modes such as the 50-50 mode that's popped up a couple of times already. Now these modes do not count towards wins and usually include respawning with your weapons, and because of that, people don't really sweat it out as much on these modes compared to the Battle Royale mode for example. This is therefore a great opportunity to fly in and get quickscoping like it's Modern Warfare 2, where a lot of the lobby are in there just trying to do challenges as well. Now lastly, you can get it by buying the blueprint within the Lost Souls bundle in the store, but I personally wouldn't advise that. I mean, you can get it for free by completing this challenge, right? And completing a challenge can kind of make you feel good and like you've accomplished something with your time, not just eating a packet of digestives and stared into the abyss. But if you are desperate to get your hands on it and don't like the sound of the grind, then the option is always there. Well, that's everything for this video. Please give it a like if it helped you out, and subscribe for more. It only takes a second and I'd be very grateful. See ya!